Silicon Valley HR Summit and Awards 2023.
We have a renowned person who will be our moderator, Mr. Chetan Raj, CBO, Chief Business Officer for Hirexa Solutions. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, guys? Come on, make some noise for him. Come on. That's the energy we want throughout the event. So, Mr. Chetan Raj, an astute HR and TA professional with over 25 years of experience, is currently the CBO at Hirexa Solutions, a 350 plus member organization, a new age technology specialist requirement firm that operates across the UK, Europe, India, APAC and Middle East since 2015. Chetan comes with varied HR experiences, having worked with organizations such as Taj Group, Wipro Limited, LTI Mindtree, Mahindra Satyam and HCL Technologies. Very excited as GM and CEO lead while he set up the entire shared services and contract staffing operations with over 650 plus recruiters. So he had lead roles across core HR, L&D, sales, operations, talent acquisition, product development, and HR consulting. So he has been involved in training 1,000 plus recruiters in both the corporate and service world. He is certified neuro-linguistic practitioner and a master practitioner, leveraging his skills in creative ideation on any task bestowed upon him. Chetan is known to have led the design and conceptualization of India's first mobile application for recruitment called My Choice Hire, way back in 2015, even when the operating recruiters did not have a smartphone. So in 2017, My Choice Hire was declared the best startup in recruitment solution by Silicon India. So outside work, Chetan is known to be very active, as we can see. He was ready to dance. As a professional singer, so you sing? I didn't know this. Okay, I didn't read out, I am reading it first time. Okay, psychedelic artist, am I correct? Yes, spiritual traveler, professional wildlife and travel photographer, and an avid biker who has covered over 1 lakh kilometers over the last 10 years. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Loud okay, kya? Can I have a selfie? He's a superstar now. Thank you, thanks a lot. So I would like to call upon other dignitaries who will be on the panel session as well. So can we have Mr. Satish S, Director, Talent Acquisition, Quality Test, to join us on the stage, please. Come on, guys, give me a huge round of applause. Can we have Mr. Arun Sundar, Director, Evoria Group? And we have a huge round of welcome for him, guys. Come on. And as you all know, Mr. Debikar, co-founder, head of tech, HireGPT, also to join us on the stage, please. And also Mr. Lakshmikant, head TA, Eagle Wave, also here. I request him to join us on the stage, please. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. And as I said, Mr. Chetan Raj will be the moderator, and it's all for you, sir. We have missed out one more important person who is available. So, Mr. Azan Feroz Seth, founder and Chief Happiness Officer, The Hub Bangalore, as well, to join us on the stage, please.
Hi. Happy to have you. Please.
Let be happiness be ever here. Huh?
Give me a good feel.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we would run this for around 45 minutes to an hour max, and we will not eat too much of your lunch time. How many of you are hungry at this point of time already? At least I am. My lunch time is by 12:31 most of the days. There's one hand going up there. So, oh, okay. You are barred for now. You are locked here for an hour. Well, thank you. And thank you, each one of you, to be here today. And appreciate you taking time. And let's hope the audience here is going to enjoy some more of learning from TA perspective specifically. Okay. Quick check. Okay, so we have a code coming up on the screen. Use your mobile phone, scan the code, and it will open up to a set of questions coming up. We'll do Kaun Banega Karodpati kind of situation. So you'll have questions coming up, and we'll get to see what's happening in the room. Okay? Apart from what the people on the dais are going to talk about, you can also provide your inputs as to what's happening and what you feel about the questions and the thoughts we are going to speak. Okay. Can we bring up the first one? Anyone? That's a great thought. Thank you, Vision. Anybody with the TA experience? Diversity fulfillment, at least I can have 20% fulfillment. Anybody? Because I don't know the background. Anybody from TA here? No? On to my right. How about you? Please, come on. Do so. Please give it a round. Hello? Yeah, thank you. Hi, Chetan. Please come. Yes. Why don't you give an intro about yourself?
I'm a placement director. My name is Mumtaz. I'm from St. Claret College.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so how many of you could scan this quickly? All? Everybody? So we know the number of participants in the room, so we'll also know how many are answering also. So we are a very core HR elite members. Okay, so what is the first one? Okay, so pick up your mobile. You would have seen a question popping up there. Use any of the emojis on your mobile to say what's the mood you are currently in at this point of time. You want the QR code again? Okay, you just need to scan once, thereafter you don't have to. And I should reiterate, you will not lose any of your battery, so please use your mobile effectively. All scanned? Okay, can we move on now? No? Come back. Just walk a little front if you are unable to scan from there. You are allowed to. Is there a link? You can go to mentimeter.com. Menti.com, sorry. Do we have Pratap here from HP? Pratap, would you mind joining? Considering this is a TA forum and understand you're from TA. HP India, right? So come over. Give a round of applause to Pratap, please. No problem. Thank you, please. Okay, so people on dais, you don't get to see the kind of answers they are giving. So it's like you're on the hot seat and they are the audience poll coming up. So we're going to see how much matching there's going to be between the answers what you're giving and answers what the crowd feels out there. So at this point of time, allow me to step down. So people say they are confused. I feel fresh, great, excited, awesome, interesting, insightful. I was excited. I was exited. Okay. Exited from where? Angry also. Some are feeling angry. Maybe they took a long time coming all the way here from hungry and angry. But I didn't see anybody talking about being hungry. Cool, interesting, excited. Good emojis. Yeah, we should have ideally had you, but that's fine. Angry. Okay. So, the topic for us and why we are going to have this, like this, you will have at least around 25 of them coming up on the screen where we'll have you interact with us, give your views on what you think is happening out there in the talent acquisition space. And we'll also pick the brains of the besties who are on the dais here, looking at what we can get. In the talent acquisition, among the recent surveys, what we talked about, there are around 8 to 10 challenges people have been highlighting more than often. Skill shortages, changing job preferences, remote work, technology adoption, understanding job description, Debbie already talked about it, innovative sourcing, diversity hiring, cost of recruitment, time lost in transactions. Okay. These are so far and so forth. Now the talk of the town and what TA is looking at and HR is looking at is how do we adopt AI, the artificial intelligence, the generative AIs of the world which is being called upon today. The first question starts up, and I think that is also available for the crowd here. How soon, and I would want Debbie and Satish to answer this, how soon would the recruiters lose their job to AI?
Check. I don't think so they are going to lose the job.
You can be happy for some time, okay?
AI is going to bring more efficiency, so the people are going to upskill themselves so that they can be still in the game. If they are not upskilling themselves, yeah, you know the answer.
Well said, well said, thank you. That was needed for many. Debbie, what's your thought?
I'll be straightforward. People will lose jobs. Like Satish said, your role might shift. For me, what is TA's job? It's supply chain. Get me people faster. If I am spending time just talking to people, finding people, that's gonna become faster. If I can focus engaging those people, ensuring they join, right, then I have a value add to the organization. If I am just doing, and I keep saying Nokia connecting people, all I'm doing is bringing you to the hiring manager, then your role will be questioned. No doubt about it. Yes, new roles will open up. You may be asked to be so good at prompt engineering as a recruiter that you can do basic validation of a profile, right? You'll see the roles changing. But if you are not changing, it will be replaced.
How soon would that be? Or how far?
India will still see it slow.
Slow? Okay.
For a simple reason, I'm seeing the cost arbitrage that we have in talent acquisition. For me, TA team still doesn't charge me like a tech team charges, right?
Agree.
So I'm still saying, okay, I'm still going to pay some more time. But the moment I see tools available which can just, the person is just doing task A to task B and that can repetitive, I can automate it.
Yes.
So
one more point I would like to add. How soon? So it's going to be, like a little. It's going to take some more time. The reason is our market is not a structured market, the candidate market. If you just post the job for one particular opportunity, at least 60% of the resume is a cut copy paste. So considering that, the lot of validation is going to take place from the recruiter's angle. Even though like we are going to implement the AI, but still there is a human touch is completely involved to assess, because see, AI is basically come with a opinion perspective. It's cultural fit and understanding what we look for our organization that come from the recruiter's angle. So it is not going to get impact much, but at the same time it's going to take some more time, because the resume or the candidate profile, what we are getting it is more of, as Debbie was mentioning in other discussion, right? So the chat GPT can generate the relevant resume as per the job description. So the recruiter's role is to identify whether the person is culturally fit for me or not. So the cultural fit is going to play a very vital role. So that's going to take some more time, because DNA of the India, we always look for whether the person is culturally fit, and longevity in terms of how many months or years or the person has stayed in the earlier organization. Those characteristics is going to play a vital role here. Yeah.
In fact, thinking a little wider, on the TA perspective, what could happen is, for all those AI is going to help the candidate perspective. There could also be a tools on AI which will come in for the recruiter to say, hey, the profiles or the resumes which came from the candidate. Now we talked about 500 resumes which can just generate and come. They may have a background check verification on that process also. To say, hey, was this created, or is it really actually the kind of qualitative candidate out in the market?
See, there is a challenge on that in terms of the background check verification. Even I want to answer Vijay as well. So this project already proposed a couple of years before to NASCOM, okay, in terms of how we can ban the people who come with the fake resumes. But unfortunately, that project did not sail through, because there are few companies willing to accept if they are technically good. We can just go ahead and hire them for the time and material kind of engagement. So it's going to be like a cat on the wall situation. It's very difficult to take a judgmental call. Like a BGC is going to be like one of the additional factor is going to decide on us. Then.
It may make the HR's life easy, but I don't think so. It makes the students' life easy, because students can't stay in one company for more than 6 months or 8 months. So everything will be there on the AI platform. So it may be difficult for the students, not for the HRs.
Yeah, the students have to upskill themselves. That's one of the important thing. We always go to the campus and tell them.
Students are always, they'll hop the placements. They'll go to one company to the different company like that.
See, that,
Job hop.
that has been the tradition for a very long time, ma'am. Now that'll be there. We can't stop that with whatever that is there. That will continue. That is okay. And there'll be a time when these students will get little matured, probably more responsibilities. They'll stick to a single job. But these things come AI, those things might not change the trend, is what I feel.
At present current scenario, not only for IT sector, if you go for healthcare industry, telecom, manufacturing, IT, yes, most of the students, they first initially they check for the first 6 months, either the organization it's suitable for them. So organization, they are ready to support for the students, but the thing is, if the mindset, okay, this is my future, then student will stick for 3 years, 4 years also. And the student mindset, yes, I want to, this is the right place to quick learning, and also I need to learn new concepts. I need to explore my knowledge and skills in the right organization. I need to develop my career as well as my organization growth also. Those set of people only will stick for long run. But some set of students, they want, no, I want to become Ambani within 3 months itself.
Yes.
So such kind of people, it's lost for organization as well as the college. The name also has been spoiled.
Yeah,
so that during academics, being a placement officers, you need to inform whether you go for IT or non-IT. Yes, you just stick for 1 year, just learn the new concepts. You need to adapt the organization. Then organization also, they never fail any attritions, and they are spending the more lot of new technologies from your students actually.
More than money, I think students are looking for happiness.
Yes, nowadays the scenario like that.
Yes.
But
no,
IT,
I might slightly disagree to that, because me being in talent acquisition for almost 16, 17 years now, I've been to many placements. What the students ask is, what is my take home? It's not even what is my package, what is my take home, what are the other benefits am I getting?
And the take home has to be happiness actually. Right?
No, that realization comes very late.
Late.
No, that's the
After 17,
problem.
18 years actually.
Exactly. No, they don't think about where their career going to be after 5 years, 6 years. What is the company is all about? Do they have the growth internally? What is the work culture there? All their mind is over money. How much am I getting? Okay, I'm getting 10 lakhs here. After 6 months, there's somebody, my friend moved with 12 lakh rupees. for a startup or something, some other company. But how long will they sustain there?
See, as
Now,
Debbie said, it's all got to do with the short span, right? People not, it's very rarely that people are looking from a long-term perspective. Okay, that has actually gone on. Anyway, sticking to the point for now, let me go on to the next. This is a specific loaded question, so I would want the corporate folks to answer what is that you are looking in the change. Now, how can AI-driven tools in India address the challenge of scale in recruitment, especially in a country with a vast and diverse talent pool, what we are looking? Where should AI ideally support in recruitment process? Pratap, Satish, Flax.
Yeah, just to let you all know, HP is already getting into AI tool. Now we're gonna launch a new tool for screening profiles. So what has happened over the years, let's assume that I'm posting a job for SAP analyst or SAP FICO analyst something. We'll have financial analysts applying for this job, right? Why do they do that? It is killing our time. Like for example, just some time back I was talking to Arun. For a job position which I post, there are hundreds of resumes coming in. Where as a recruiter, I have to sit and screen each and every resume. It kills my time. With the AI, I will be able to filter out probably out of 100 resumes, there'll be only 5 profiles which is relevant for me. So those 5 profiles will come into me, not wasting my time. So that is where it plays a major role, and HP is already into it. Probably maybe another 6 months time, we would set an example like to the industry how AI can work in recruitment.
This helps in even job description as well. See, currently what we receive from the delivery is like a couple of lines. Hey,
Tell me, why is there a dependency on delivery to create a JD? Why can't it still be taken
they
over
know-
from the ops
because
and
they
the
know
HR?
the customer's landscape very well, rather than we get it, or we assume the things on that.
Or by
direction.
putting a HR person with the delivery who can create this?
That's what. See, that is the collaborative thing which has to come up. Because sometimes there is a kind of a fear factor. Not exposing the talent acquisition or the HR to the end customer to understand the landscape perspective. That's the reason offshore team always works with onshore team or with the customer to understand the requirements. But if I look at last 8 years or 9 years, unfortunately we do not check with the customers in terms of questioning them about hey, you are giving me a Java developer with 6 years experience. What are all the sub skill set, or what are all the things which you need beyond the Java developer? We basically collect the information and pass it on to the HR or the talent acquisition in the offshore. Hey guys, go ahead, hunt for the people on that
The
angle.
assumption that TA knows everything.
Right. So what happens is the TA also takes that and run it and give some few number of CVs. Then it goes to the customer side, and customers say 1, 2, 3, 4 is missing. Why didn't you look at it? So in this kind of a case, if the recruiter, the person who is starting the career as a recruiter, or people as having a 2 years, 3 years kind of experience, if they get such kind of a 2-liner JD, if they can put it if they can use the AI, that throws a detailed job description. Because again, the data says it goes and check the millions of job description, job title, and the skill set perspective, and throw the result. So based on that, they can get an understanding of the job description, what they want. So that's going to help the recruiter to talk in a better way to the candidates, understanding the things. Or other way also, they are sharing that information to delivery back, saying that, hey, I'm going to source the CV on this. Would that be okay for you? So in that way, AI is going to help us in terms of job description, preparing the job description as well as the job posting, both the sides. Yeah.
Just to add on, Chetan, am I audible?
Good.
Great. So for me, recruiting is always 3-dimensional. One is a candidate perspective, other is business objectives, third is recruitment process, which is internal as well, right? So when we talk about AI, first thing, candidate appreciates if we respond immediately within a day's time. But with the same candidate appreciate if he talks to a robot for interview assessment, right? If a robot sits in front of you and asks you some questions, it depends on how you pursue your skillness. If your robot says you're not selected, rejected, or any artificial intelligence for that matter, how the candidate experience be impacted as well is something that we also have to deep dive as well. Because
Wonderful.
one is getting a prompt responses, which now for the scale that we need, definitely AI can be very handy. But we should also think about how do candidate pursue it from a long-term standpoint. From a different dimension, how would business looks at it, right? Will a hiring manager takes a decision of one of his panels as a better judgment, or than trusting a automation or artificial intelligence for the matter, right? So how do business or hiring managers try to adopt artificial intelligence from a long-term standpoint? Definitely, it helps them saving bandwidth. Right now, for the last 10 years, we've been using a lot of assessment tools, which is a standard automation, right? 10 years back, we were talking about automation, not AI at the point of time. But that helped us save a lot of time of our panels to cut short our interview process, do one basic assessment, ensure that quality comes to the interview processes. But a hiring manager will automate entire process of hiring and say, I'll take the final interview. I want to ensure that person is a final fit for my team or not. I'll automate or outsource everything. That's a decision that hiring manager also has to be onboarded on.
Just a top-up question on that. I'll come back to you, Happiness. What is TA lacking today? Is TA lacking the AI perspective to pitch in, or are we still lacking in the basics of standards, SOPs, and adoptability of the right way of operating? I think we are still, the talent acquisition is still like dilly-dallying. It's like chalta hai. Kind of approach is still running.
I mean,
Debbie?
I may get beaten for saying this. So I come from business, I come from tech, been in HR side for quite some time. Till the time the HR keeps calling themselves facilitator, they will get beaten.
Exactly.
Most of them don't want to be value driver. They have very easily taken the role of a facilitator. We don't own anything, we facilitate.
Yes. And I've seen that happening in HR too.
There are sales comes with a proposal, budget approved. HR comes with a proposal, budget is not approved for a simple reason. We are not storytellers as HRs.
Exactly.
If I can't go back to my business and justify how is this going to add to business, it's always be a question, add 5 people, get it done.
Yes.
Right? In Amazon, at least I learned one thing when I was working. Intentions don't work. Mechanisms do.
Indeed.
You may have best of the best interest to bring everything. I see the primary problem between business and TA or HR is lack of transparency and trust.
Yes.
A lot of hiring managers don't trust the recruiter.
Yes.
They want to control, saying, you send us the resumes, we will see it. Till the time they see with data that if I am sending you someone, he will or she will definitely go to 3rd round. Can you prove that with data that 90% of the people TA team suggested ended up being final round? Then next time I say, you're going to listen to me. But if I say, anybody I'm sending, hiring manager is rejecting 50%, then I have
And that's happening in most of the companies.
Right? So what happens? Intentions are there. Nobody, I mean, whether it's a TA or HR or sales or marketing, everybody has right intention to help the company. But they lack mechanisms.
Yeah. Until someone proves with an outcome and makes their mark, it doesn't work. Just hand over to Mike. He had something to add.
Yeah, I think, so I'm not a HR professional. I'm a founder. I'm about 7 years in building different startups, running small experiments. And I think AI, from my understanding, platforms like LinkedIn, what Debbie's building, will deploy better for trust, verification, automation, all of that. I think what we focus on, so we have a team of about 35 at the hub. We have a hospitality wing, a media wing, and an agency. We don't have an HR. I play that role in our startup. Ironically, we offer talent as a service to multiple other companies, way bigger than us. But we don't have an HR. And the way we do that is, we're talking about AI now, we do that through CI, community intelligence. So we decentralize the hiring process. Our design lead hires designers. Our video lead hires videographers. And we build communities of internal and external communities and a leaderboard system that makes it gamifies the hiring process and allows the best talent to rise to the top by actively contributing to the freelance pool before they come into the company.
Wonderful.
So I understand this doesn't work for certain organizations, but I think it shows that there's a way to create a conversation around, a larger conversation around who comes into a company and who's part of the culture.
Absolutely. I think that's a brilliant point. Let's have Pratap add up to that.
No, I just
Round of
want,
applause. I hope you're all participating there.
no, I just want to add one point to the bonding between the managers and the recruiters. The one thing that we as recruiters can bring is talent. But what hiring managers looking for? Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, everything in one person. Exactly. They want the Avengers group in, which is not possible from us because we bring talents. Look at the talent. And also there's always, unconscious bias. I think you all might come across the unconscious bias. No, I come from this particular city. I come from this particular region. No, I want people from that kind of region. So that is one way where we can lack.
Yes.
And we are not okay with it.
No, I think that is changing over a period of time. We have seen this with maybe Gen X of the leadership used to be there, who would want to favor their kind of people from their side of the people, etc. With millennials and Gen Zs coming in, I don't think they are looking at it. In fact, they are going to throw away the X and Y's soon. They'll say, you're not going to be in the league of what we are going to have the conversation. They want things much more faster than what we expect today.
Just to address Devi's thing, like the transparency between the delivery managers and the TA team. So what we have done, like in our organization, is basically we started creating the platform to integrate delivery and the talent acquisition. So monthly once, delivery team has to come and present about one topic on what they are, again, like if the person has come from the enterprise side, so they actually educate the talent acquisition team in terms of their horizontal, vertical, or COE perspective. So in that way, like the recruiters having the like a closeness with like the delivery team, and again they are all leaders, so that they understand what the customer is looking for, what the organization is looking for in terms of a skill set perspective, and the people can ask questions to the leaders. I'm talking about even like the junior recruiter is like having the right to ask question to the leaders. Hey, I'm not understanding this particular like a skill set. Can you please walk me through?
I think that's where the transformation should happen in TA space, Satish. Meaning, we have seen business leaders becoming CHROs, head of talent acquisitions, having been in the business,
right,
and they exactly know the kind of problems they have faced, and they would want to address in that short period of 2 years, 3 years they get to become a CHRO, and they again come back to the business roles, right? Maybe the TA, mostly the TA heads come from that business, but the rest of the people do not come from the business, right?
Right. Yeah.
So ideally, that role change, and that among that, every 1.5 years when people have the role change, right, they say, hey, please go and manage the TA role also and the HR role also, so that you will bring in the best of the outcomes. The biggest challenge which can be eradicated is also that they will be able to go back and say, hey, look, this is not possible. You are giving something which is just not possible, which TA is unable to answer today. And that is the support which is required to have a leader of that sort who can push back the business, which is mostly not happening.
And to address like Ironman and all those things, like what we have done is, we tried in terms of like 1 or 2 weeks trying to identify the candidate from the market. It's not, we will ask the delivery to come and sit with us for the co-sourcing. Okay, so let's source together. You also understand what is the market space, what you are asking for, and whether it is available or not. So they understand what talent acquisition is facing in terms of identifying such kind of resource. And they went back and worked internally and respond to the TA, get this candidate, like we can upskill them on this kind of a skill set. So that's going to ease out our problem in terms of like getting the candidate which is available in the market. Then we can run the training program for them to upskill it and close the position. Yeah.
See, most of the cases it is more like a genie search. Okay, you want to put that genie on some task so that it doesn't come and eat your head. Why don't you go and get me a resource with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a combination of so and so with ISB, etc., etc. And it goes around. Till such time, you have the next set of demand ready.
In business team, whatever the profiles if you are given from TA, the people they said, no, the skill set will not be matching up to my requirement. Because they assign some requirement of SAP, FICO or ABAP or Java, Spring, Hibernate and all. The people, if they're having the, Java with Spring also, no, I'm matching the experience level and skill set level, but Hibernate is not there. So at last moment, they lost the profile. And some students, some few employees, they are having the skill set, but they don't have matching the experience level. Yeah. So in such case also, people, they lost it actually. Though the matching experience also close to some 3 to 4 months, the gap will be there. So project managers, they won't accept actually. So such kind of things also, it's getting difficult. Using this AI tool, if you put the job descriptions based on the business requirements, we're getting the right resources from the AI tool actually. So and also now everybody using the paper copy of resume. They're screening the resume with 100 resume, 200 resume. So in future, not future, already it's some few corporate they started, and our organization also we started with the video resume. Instead of going the paper copy resume, we started with the video resume. So in video resume, the TA cost will be saved. They no need to travel across pan India. From sitting one place in remote, they can easily assess either the candidate, which quality they have, what kind of skill set they have, what kind of com skills they have. So based on the matching criteria, the project managers also, they can take a look it forward for the video resume concepts.
Good. Taking a cue from what you mentioned now, I would like to move towards Candid. We anyway have our TA problems. That is something which will continue to be there for a few more years. Now there's a question which is coming exactly, what exactly is gone missing in Candid experience today? And that has got more answers than the first question, I would say, correct? That means even the HR and the TA professionals sitting here know exactly what is proper communication, reality versus expectation, competent, common sense. This is about what exactly has gone missing in candidate experience today. Loyalty, ownership, transparency, getting a feedback, that's the biggest one. Personal touch, appreciation, not ready to source, monetary details, blah, blah, blah. Lack of training. Okay. Now, from what Hello? See, the biggest challenge in TA, and we have been talking about this for the last 2 decades or more, okay? Not getting feedback to the candidate has been the biggest drawback. Agree? Everybody? Right? And there's no tool till today which has been designed which can work towards making that candidate experience wow. I think that's the biggest thing which is missing. Because we have not been able to give feedback on a timely basis and on regular basis, I think candidates have started making multiple ways to pierce in. Because when they were sincere, the HR and the TA fraternity did not use it effectively. It was not honored, is my view. I would like to hear from others.
Okay, so I think the trust is the important factor. That is something which is not promptly utilized. Okay, great, thank you. So I think the trust is the important factor that is not properly utilized on both sides. I'll give an example. Recently, I was talking to one of my recruiter in USA. He has applied for a Salesforce developer requirement with a certification mandatory, and we have a system beautifully designed that there's a few questions, and if the person says I don't have certifications, the automatic trigger goes back saying XYZ reasons you're not qualified for this job. So that addresses that communication of saying that you got feedback or not. He has 700 CVs and 650 of them said they have certified. And when they open the CV, they don't have certification. So that jumped over, 600 plus CVs jumped over the primary screening criteria and came to the recruiter. And recruiter is now confused how to screen 600 plus CVs with the given bandwidth that he has. So I think that's where the candidate is also trying, instead of not having the right skill, trying to jump over the queue to present himself before the recruiter. But again, the feedback comes back saying I'm not getting feedback promptly. Right. So probably we probably can't get into that detail. Probably what we was thinking is, can we also ask them to give a certification number if they're really qualified and have the certification? That drill down to very deeper level of assessing the candidates. But I think the trust is the most important factor in both the sides, and it might take a little longer time to build it for any organization to gain the confidence. Gain the confidence both from the recruiter as well as, I think there's a fourth one. This is how we select candidates. I think now I'm the edge of the trust factor on these mics now. Right. All right. So I think we should always focus on. I think we started the conversation of why Tata's been very famous because they trust, and a lot of other pilots are shifting back to Tata because of the trust they build upon. Right. I think as a HR community, we should, both from a business standpoint as well as from candidate standpoint, work towards building the trust and ensure the transparency. At some point that you also brought in earlier as well.
We're talking about screening and based on experiences and certification, but also I think just a little zoomed out perspective, just from someone trying to build something, right? I think the most important thing today is founder mentality, because a lot of things are being automated and there's no code ways to do things that were very technical. So what good, just again a zoomed out perspective, what good is a certification if things are moving in a direction that makes that almost irrelevant, right? That I would love to see what thoughts are around that.
Also, not about just certifications. See, we recruiters, what we do, we don't go out of the book. Like, what is there in your resume? Just say that. What today's candidates do it, Google about it. They put some abbreviations. When you ask them the full form, they don't know. No, we just go through the resume and, as some projects, they don't know because they're not part of it. They found this to be suitable for this job description, just add that. So that is another challenge.
If they upgrade the skills, yes. If they upgrade the skills, it's more than sufficient to match the requirement. Because being a certificate, some few guys, they're having the certifications, but they don't know anything about the skill set. Some few students, they're having the skill set, but they don't have the certification. So here, we need to predict only the skill set. Those who are having the skill set, the client will match the requirements, they will take. If they're having certificate, here there is no point, certification it's required, not certificate it's required. Here the point should be the skills should be upgraded.
See, certification is just one part of it. Now, I've always been talking to people over 2 decades is that recruitment is like a matrimonial affair, okay? So if you take from 60s, 70s, just for an example, I've not seen before that. You go to see a girl or girl comes to see a guy, okay? मेरे बेटी ने बनाया, आप चख के देखो. Now there's no certification on that, right? On that day, at that point of time, there's no certification to check. You can only taste, you will only get to know after the marriage. That means that's exactly is happening. It's after the joining, you will get to know that isko kuch nahi aata. There's nothing these guys know. After 1 week, then you start checking them out. One, at the resume level of looking at the competency which has gone lacking in the TA is, can I read the resume first completely? And based on that, can I ask relevant questions? Third, then how do I assess? Now, there's no TA person, even though organizations claim that we have got 40% of the recruiters who are engineering background. Okay, that's good to have. That doesn't mean that that one recruiter with engineering background, they come with multiple. It could be electronics, computer science, mechanical, can ask questions for 100 odd skills. Just not possible.
Being engineering, they have the multiple skills. They can go for technical requirements also. They can go for non-technical also.
Yes, they can. But this is still a coordinator role which is happening. It's a glorified coordination role which is happening. That's where I was talking about. Somebody from the technical who has been in the business should be part of the TA so that you know exactly what kind of people have to be picked up.
Hi. I have 3-4 points. Hello?
You've got 70% rejection.
And I think this is okay.
Excuse me.
I have 3-4 different points before I come to a summary that I wanted to share, which I think is important. Certification is important. Let's say company says there is, as a TA, I only have certain limit I can do. Certification is required. Technically, I can solve it. I'll put a computer vision, you upload a certificate, I can read if it is from the authentication person name. I can solve it. ROI may not justify, right? Putting us, it's still involved, I mean, we still get right? 70%, 80% still can be brought down. I have had customers who can shut down business any day with data saying, you don't need, why do you need Iron Man? Why do you need a Superman? Because in my last data, we hired people from these colleges or these background with lesser experience. Currently, the HRBP's data shows where they stand in terms of performer. You can shut them back with data. There, I see breakdown at multiple points. TA, HRBP don't talk. My job is to get the person in, done. HRBP's job is to ensure they stay in the company. HRBP says it's the manager who makes the employee stay, I don't do it, right? Yeah. So the data is not talking to each other, right? I got the person left in 3 months, early attrition. It's not my problem. So what happening is, we're placing too much trust on the TA team to say they will solve everything. There is a breakdown at multiple places. Business need to know what ownership have we given to the HR team. There is a lot of hypocrisy within business. I have been, at least after becoming startup founder, when I go back to business, most of the CEOs don't have people KPIs. If the attrition is high, it's because market salary has increased. People are leaving. No, neither CHR is responsible nor CEO is responsible, right? So there is hypocrisy breakdown at multiple levels. But I am fundamentally asking one question. We are putting too much faith saying every candidate has to be smart. 80% of the job we do currently, the role that we do in India can be done by anybody, right? I need to find the right fitment. We are placing too much that we have to do screening, background verification, do AI of everything and find the best of the best. 80% of the role does not need superstars. It is average job. Exactly, right? So that's what I'm saying. There is a breakdown at multiple places. What you need is people who can storytell with data, go back to business and convince what you need, why you need for certain roles. But majority of role, you need to look at how do I solve it at scale, because what you are getting from point A to point person B, point person A is not really drastically different. The job we do are not super smart every single day, right? So, but when we go to do analysis, we do paralysis, over analysis. So,
I think just add one last point. I have a very recent example of that. So I'll use some numbers around. So let's say we have a 500K budget USD to hire a team. Yeah. That's not for automation anyhow. So we know that for 500K you can't build a 7-8 member team, so the budget moved to India. Hiring managers, which is CTO, says that okay, I'll put 1.5 or 150K to hire a lead, but this guy need a domain, this guy need a programmer, this guy need to be cloud guy, but he should be individual contributor as well with 20 plus years of experience. And then he gave a bifurcation of remaining roles as well, like he divided that budget among 6 roles. We tried for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We went back and said, listen, I know we have a very high budget for a very senior role who should have all the combination of skills, but we redefined it in such a way that let's move cloud off the person. Let's give it to someone who is junior level. You have 40K located there, let's make it 60K USD. And increase the budget. You can hire a programmer plus a cloud engineer who can contribute there. Let's remove the cloud from a topmost person who is a domain expert. Domain guys generally don't gel well with the cloud side of it. They're mostly into 3D, AutoCAD kind of it and all. So we try to rephrase the budgets and the roles and JDs as well to some extent in such a way that we start with the hiring manager, understand how do we allocate the budget, not compromising in the skill, not compromising the number of talent you need to build your project. At the same time, we get you all the skills on the project for you. So this is the kind of the data that helps in, right? In terms of understanding what your business need and what do they have resources. How do you ensure that you're not exceeding your resources, but giving what they want is something that matters a lot for them.
This is also one of the case, I want to see the infant attrition, okay? Because when you evaluate, you are asking so many things to be in the candidate's profile. But on the real time, like these guys are going to do the like L1 kind of a job or like L2 kind of a job at a support level. So the second month you can expect the resignation, the great resignations come from these guys, because the question come to TA again, because till 3 months they are in touch with the TA only. They go back and say, like, hey, you guys have evaluated me, you drilled me like all these questions, but you know what I'm doing? Like I'm doing this job, like which I've done like 4 years before. Then why did you like screen me on all those kind of things? So this 2 part, like which lead into the infant attrition, that is going to create again. If you see any organization, almost like on the if they say like a 13-20% of total attrition part of it, 60% come from the infant attrition because of you expect the people to perform more, but what you are giving is not that one which you have evaluated them on that way.
I want to add one point to Devi. So yes, CIE is much better than EAI while hiring. Why I know? Why you know? Because JD is totally different. Students are not understanding the JD, what the TA team is sending. And HR says different things. After that, the job will be totally different. So the students are not staying in the job for more than 3 months. Yes.
And that's where things like what he's building community.
Yes.
I don't talk to HR or hiring manager, I talk to the community to figure
Exactly. And that is what is important. I think even in the TA, apart from talking to the TA guys are not talking, you know, there has to be community within the organizations. We can talk about what they do.
But we need to check about the scalability on that point. Yeah, maybe, you know, like a small circle, we can do, you know, like the community, the CI part of it. But when you go on the longer, you know, like it's, you know, like you need to hire, you know, like 1,000 people in a year. So it's a CI is going to be, you know, like a bit challenging.
So maybe I can share some insight on that, right? Over the last 7 years, we've had about maybe 200 people that have been part of our team. Right now, we have about 30 people. Our attrition is a little high because we're an agency, so we have to deal with that. But we have paid out more than 10,000 people over the last 7 years.
Wonderful.
So in a decentralized manner, we have been able to work with people across the world on micro tasks, right? So we're very small, but it is scalable if every stakeholder in the company and around the company helps the decentralization process or the burden that's on talent management and HR right now. But for that, I think you need to apply founder mentality to the current setup because it has to be intensely disrupted.
Go ahead.
So basically, I come from L&D background, and I've been into L&D since last 18 years, and I've worked.
Your name, please?
My name is Nav Kishle.
Now,
I represent Breakout over here, and I was just listening to what we were talking about. So mostly, what we look for is certification or proof of concept. But you know, there is also something called demonstration. I come from a background where I used theater when I started my career. I used theater and music for L&D, which is now catching up. And I started this in 2006. So how do you demonstrate your skill? Because there's no specific way to demonstrate what you do in theater, what you do in music. So I'm also a national level tabla player. No, we never had this concept of certification in these aspects. What you perform, you know, it is visible. So yes, AI is going to help us to do the initial screening. But the next part, what I completely agree with you, CI is going to help us to finalize and identify in terms of matching the expectation on both the sides. You know, there is a mismatch of expectation at both the sides.
exactly.
People who are coming and people who are seeking, you know, there is that mismatch. And trust me, I'm just using my experience in theater and music that this is there in that industry also, but then it is mitigated through the CI part. You know, it is age-old practice.
Indeed.
It is something which
Because there the conversation continues.
yes, so it is very, very important. And somebody mentioned that interaction within the team, what is happening. So since I've been part of the L&D, there's a huge gap in terms of what is being practiced in the industry and what is being taught in the you know, education institution, right? So what are we doing in live, you know, there that needs to be communicated to people who are coming in, right? There is that gap. So if we are able to take, you know, care of that part, I think this is also very handy. I mean, I see it. There's
what you are saying in theater example, right?
yeah.
All we'll have to do is question the status quo.
Yeah.
Cred, founder mentality.
Yeah.
Every person they hire, they have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to join. They actually send them task before they join and they pay them. Okay?
Yep.
So you have not joined me, but here is a task our team is doing. Would you be able to do it? And if you spend 4 hours, I'm paying you for 4 hours.
Yep.
It's a status quo that they have challenged. Because most of the time our mentality is, I have hired you, you join, I'll pay you salary.
Right.
But what I have done, I'm not taking advantage of you for next 90 days, 30 days, 60 days, whatever your notice period. You work with us, whatever time you can. I have done 2 things. I have validated, are you really capable? And I have also paid you back. I'm not
Brilliant.
taking advantage of you. So That's why-
Just to add to that, in 2010, I worked with an organization in Noida. In my interview, this was a practice which was done. So 15 days, I was under observation. And I was told that you have to come at 9 o'clock and you have to perform. And there was no master above me. And I got to know afterwards that I was being observed by people in the organization. Even while I came for the interview, there were two people behind the screen, and the entire reception was in chaos. When I entered the reception, there was nobody and everything was on the floor. So my first reaction was that I started putting
Take them.
it, and there were books. Now I joined them as a trainer, and I claimed that I'm from theater. So I was asked, so they checked whether I'm reading a book or not, I'm reading a magazine or not. This happened for 2 hours. Nobody attended me for 2 hours. But now I understand why it was done then. It's called Advait Life Education. Acharya Prashant is the one I was working with at that point of time. So he's a graduate from IIM Ahmedabad and IIT Delhi. So he was also an IRS officer. So then when I started working, I was reporting to him. Then he said that this is why actually we check the ownership of the person who's coming.
That's good.
So there's an accountability from both the sides.
Thanks, Nav.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, in the interest of time, another 10 minutes left. Arun, this question is specifically for you. We are going to talk from the HTD and THD, which you have introduced now. I've only heard about STD all this while. Do you have any thoughts on how AI can be leveraged on the HTD form of hiring in future?
In future, still now, the AI HTD concepts we are not launched in college campuses, because currently we just go for, first we'll get the requirements from the client. If the requirements, if suitable, because nowadays, being a freshers, they want to upgrade the skills. At the time of academics, as ma'am said, the students, first of all, they not even understand the job description. So in such case, first we need to train the basic core skill sets. What corporate expects from the candidates. So in academics, people will learn from computer science department, electronics, mechanical. Nowadays, mechanical also, they can hire for CTS, Wipro, TCS and all service-based industries again. So industries, corporate, they expert only which skill set people they have. What kind of skill set they are easily learn to quickly.
Consider that would be taken care in the next 1 year or so.
Yes.
Okay? Because people, now the kind of kids who are coming
Now
out
they are in
much
kids
more
level.
intelligent, right?
Yes.
Next 2 years, they know more about the AI, what's happening.
Now already people, they use ChatGPT. Using the
Yes.
ChatGPT, if you ask in any kind of topics, within a 15 minutes or 5 minutes, they are ready to do the presentations.
So in HTD, what is that you would want to introduce?
In HTD, yes, we'll give the chance for the TA team. Give me the right resources and give me the skill set. We'll train the people. Because the hiring team should be the TA only. Because if we hire the people, HT is different, HTD is different. TST is nothing but train, hire, deploy model. So first we'll receive the job description. Before these people coming, we'll train the people and we'll give right resources to the TA team. HTD is nothing but hire, train, deploy model. First, these people hire the right resources. From the right resources, they no need to wait for the 3 months, 6 months. So they no need to pay the salary also. So after joining the organization,
You will pull out the best of the
yes.
people from them. Yes, please.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know what those acronyms stood for. But again, zoomed out perspective. I think the most important skill that we are noticing, I'm noticing in a candidate today or to be successful today is to ask the right question. That's the simplest way of prompt engineering. What do you ask AI, right? So
that itself is an art.
That is the most important thing. That comes from experience. It comes from skills. But it's funny to me that still the focus is on asking candidates questions. I feel like we should allow them to ask the question to talent acquisition. And depending on how good the question they ask.
What kind of questions?
Highly technical questions about what's involved in their role, right? Mumtaz ma'am was just saying that there's a confusion because when they come in, they think the job description is something, In a few months, it's something else. So allowing them, training them to ask the right question.
Yeah, that it will happen at the time of HR operation rounds. So most probably at last round, people will ask, they won't ask any questions with the technical panel. At the time of HR panel, as Pratap said, nowadays people, because we face so many different questions with the people. The first question, if I want to say, sir, what kind of benefits you are offer? And so if I join with some software developer role in your organization or R&D, after joining, I don't know anything about R&D as well as I don't know anything about the software role, what projects you are going to assign, how I can able to go in. So that's the reason people they offer for internship. So during internship, they will train the people, this is the corporate world, this is the projects you are going to handle. So this technologies you are going to work. So such kind of things people will explain. But all people mindset should be, sir, what benefits and what salary, what hospitality you are going to provide, such kind of things only it's going on. But in future, yes, people they will ask, sir, tell about, take an example, Qualitas, tell about the HP. Sir, if I want to join in HP, suppose tomorrow if I'm getting the better opportunity from the Accenture or Deloitte, okay, more than Accenture or more than HP, if I'm getting offer from the Wells Fargo, obviously I'm going to join only, because after drill all those things, after evaluating the all screening process of TA team, now the candidate's mentality, who is paying more? So if HP will pay 8 lakhs, if Quality is paying 10 lakhs, if Evoria are paying 12 lakhs, obviously candidate mindset should be, they won't consider about the skill set which they are going to offer, they considered about the package. That scenario is going on here. That's the reason most of the TA team, they are struggling to getting the attritions.
So one thing is very clear, TA is struggling still.
Obviously, obviously.
With the aspect of what you were saying from the students'
Your
side.
name, please?
Srijit Santosh.
Srijit.
Yeah. So it also comes from the fact that even if you take a placement committee in a college, in a well college, anywhere you go, even the first day you go there with your parents, all they talk about is 100% placement.
Yes.
Package is starting at this
Yes.
lakhs. So obviously in 4 years, your students are only wanting to look for packages, right? They're not looking for what kind of job am I doing? What am I going to learn? What is this company doing? Is this company better?
It's
Nothing.
just that they have to define that package very exclusively.
Yeah.
So it will not be only about money. I think that's where the mindset is,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
The package is only about the money. The package can also be about the value systems and what could be built in that organization or what they should build for themselves. I think we all can go a long way.
So as TAs, you can also look at placement, and as when you're hiring also, just don't just hire by showing what kind of money you will get.
Yes. No, if you are upgrading the skills, the corporate automatically they give the packages for you. They won't leave for you.
Yeah.
But that mentality still students they're not.
All
able to
these
get.
are built from the same, as I talked about, recruitment like a matrimonial affair, dowry, kitna deta hai, right? Before marriage, how much? After marriage, how much? How much would your husband earn or wife earn to make that money happen down the line?
But unfortunately, marriage doesn't have a probation period.
Now it is. Well, the responses are going down. I think people are not using it, answering. There were 27 at the beginning. I see only 12 plus 5, 17 plus 2, 19.
People are stuck with the conversation.
Another 8 of them have actually put their mobile on silent or sleep mode. Please, this is a fantastic question. So the question on the board is, on the screen, do recruiters have an understanding power of AI in hiring process? The majority answer is yes at this point of time.
I want to answer your question in terms of the train, hire, deploy model of AI, how it's going to influence, right? So again, to answer him as well, we need to create the awareness with the freshers or the grads in terms of the skill demand, what is happening. Okay, the AI is going to help us a lot in that
When you say
area.
we, who? We corporate or?
No, I'm talking about the AI as a tool.
Okay.
Definitely AI is not a product, it's not like it's a thing, right? So this is going to help us in terms of generating the skill demand, what is happening in the current business world, right? So we need to project that first to the grads in terms of, hey, industry is moving towards this kind of a skill set and you will get an opportunity to work on this skill set, why don't you go and grab it? Rather than in terms of selling the money perspective, you need to tell them where industry is moving. So maybe, like AI is going to help us a lot in terms of, like identifying the skill demand, what is happening in the market. That will help train, deploy, hire model so that they'll get placed, like as quickly as possible, because they are very much, like getting trained in the skill which is really required for the industry at this point. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Just to add a perspective to the campus side of it, I think the AA should start work from the day they join as a college. Understand
Maybe
what,
before.
Yeah, to help them understand what is going to be a skill 4 years from now.
Yes.
Help them build a curriculum accordingly, prioritizing, saying this is going to be the skills. And nowadays, a lot of corporates are going with the assessment saying that next year I'm going to hire for these skills. We don't consistently hire from campus, but I know friends and colleagues who does campus consistently. Go back to colleges and tell them that, hey, next year this is going to be a skill that we might hire majorly from. And if AI can predict that and go back and say that this is a consistency that you be in place for these companies, and these are the skills that they hide for, and these are the skills we rejected most of the students for, right?
But who should take that ownership?
I think it's co-curriculum. Campus has to major stake, and I think there should be involvement of corporates as well. It's a co-curriculum, I believe, because college can't do it alone. So I think college has to have major stakeholder in terms of coordinating with the corporates, understanding what is your projection for X, Y, Z years. Let's say, are you going to hire 500 from me from next year? And probably what could be 2024, 2025 places.
So in fact, everybody should be looking futuristic of next 1 to 2 years minimum, if not the 5 to 10 years, right?
Exactly.
It could be from the organization, candidate perspective, TA perspective, also from institute's perspective.
Just a quick add-on to that. You just described LinkedIn. LinkedIn bought lynda.com for the same reason, right? So LinkedIn tells you what resumes are coming out, for which it gives you online courses on lynda.com, which is now part of LinkedIn Learning. And then when you do that course, you get a certification, which is on your LinkedIn profile, which then matches those jobs that need that certification to you. So I think it's just the legacy educational system and the universities that have to adapt to this blueprint, which is already created.
Okay. Yes. Okay, moving on to the next point on data analytics and predictive hiring. Data analytics is something which is largely talked about, used to in the corporate world today. We do a lot of data, etc., etc. So the question is, where is data analytics used at large today in TA space? Is it to save hiring cost or to improve efficiency in hiring or anything else? What percentage of hiring cost is set aside for this activity in organizations? Only for data analytics we are asking, okay?
See again.
And is it taken serious? You need not refer only from your organization.
Right.
Talk from the
So definitely, I'll be talking in terms of across. And again, see, it's again a subjective. Why I'm saying is it depends upon the hiring number every year, which we get the projections from the business. So based on that, the budget is getting allocated for each and every activity. Okay. So on this, in terms of data analytics perspective, so far in the current industry trend, if
within
you see,
TA.
Yeah, within TA, it is on the whole budget, it has been given between 7 to 8%.
Okay.
On usage of the data analytics perspective.
The majority answer from the crowd says not sure.
Okay, it's 7 to 8%. People are, again, the management always gives information to us to use that budget. How far we are using it, that's the next question. Okay, because normally as a HR
and use for what?
Yes, and we normally take the budget and we will try to use it somewhere else, and we'll still work with the legacy systems or whatever the Excel or whatever we have.
Yeah.
We never work on the predictive analytics and all this stuff. So, but we need to use it. Even the 7-8% comes to us. We need to start using that 7 to 8% and make sure that you can see that helps a lot. In terms of a geo-specific hiring, you can understand in terms of how many people are in your organization in each geo, and where is you need to increase the numbers there. That you can analyze that. And in terms of diversity part of it, you can understand what is the objective of the organization to increase the diversity, where is the delta is missing, and through that you can analyze and do that one. Especially the competency mapping and company mapping perspective, that helps. And working with the partners to push them and make sure that I want the candidate from Chandigarh this time to increase the numbers on that direction. That is going to help us a lot. So in this way, we can use this in an effective way, but are we really using it, this budget, as well as using this analytics perspective? Still, my question is doubtful. Yeah.
Pratap, a question for you. Just from a HP being one of the oldest company, What are the key challenges organizations face when transitioning from traditional hiring methods to data-driven approaches? And how can they overcome these hurdles? Have you seen such opportunity?
Yeah, like I said sometime back, we are moving to AI now, right? The recruitment team is going to move to AI. And that is where we bring in technology to the organization, the recruitment team, right? So we are investing big time, and it's not just in India. No, we are investing globally. So that is where we are bringing in technology to AI and things.
Okay. Fair enough. Anybody to add?
One example to make it easier to understand how one of our customer is using, not my tool, but they're using data analytics in talent acquisition. So they have a series of behaviors that they have identified within the company first. My successful employee, what are their behavior in sales, their marketing, in procurement and all. And they have converted that into a series of questions that they ask employees or candidates to fill in during the course of interview. Now, I may not be selected if I answer all 20 questions, but they have identified, even if this person is not selected after answering all 20, if there are 4 questions they have scored higher, they are a great fit for procurement. Okay. So what they have done, they have used data analytics to identify successful employees' behavior who stay with me for longer, who do the job well, and what do they do during interview so that I can link it.
So competency mapping
Competency
with
mapping with the behavior.
Success management.
Yes.
And looking at what skill would they come in.
Because otherwise,
Brilliant.
till the time I keep thinking only TA, right? If I border, all I am going to do is business intelligence, nothing
Exactly.
AI is how many people are hired, what is my pipeline, what is my funnel, what is my time to hire, what is my cost to hire. Those are all BI. No AI in that, right? When we are starting to predict, is this candidate going to join? Can you predict that? Is this candidate going to join? Based on what? What is the See, the world is moving from certainty to probability. Certainty is 100% I needed this true. Nobody is asking for 100% anymore. Amazon is not saying Chetan is going to buy this. They are saying there's 90% chance Chetan will buy. Similarly,
and they're preparing for that.
Correct.
With the predictability.
Right? So similarly, probability, how much chance do I have this candidate to join? That's prediction, right? What is the chance of we finding more people from this campus who will become successful with us? That data analytics is missing currently.
Fantastic.
People are waking up to that idea, but I still see missing of that storyteller who is telling the business why you need to invest in this.
And because it comes with a cost,
yes,
TA is unable to justify that.
Justify that cost.
Just a quick add-on to that. I fundamentally believe in a data-driven approach, but it's something that I've struggled with. Simple example, really small team. We have a CFO. And I really, I've managed to digitally transform all aspects of our business, but finance there's been resistance, right? So let's say as the company gets larger, if we want to digitize finance, and we use a data-driven approach to go back and to find people who stayed with us. Those are not that skill set, that data is not going to drive what finance digitization should look like moving forward. So is that data actually applicable?
So is that a young CFO or old?
It's an old CFO.
Old CFO.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
I mean, not from experience in the company, age-wise.
Age-wise, yes. Senior. With a lot of experience. But what I'm saying is, data helps us look at the past. But when we're hiring now for the future, how do we leverage that right?
I mean, just going little theoretical. So data has multiple. One is called hindsight data. What has happened in the past? Then you have insight. Saying, okay, now I know people who are leaving me are generally from these colleges. They don't stay with me. I'll not go to those campuses anymore because they leave me. That's insight. Then comes foresight. That's where you start saying, based on these patterns, I'm forecasting. Sales do forecasting job, right?
Correct.
Similar thing has to come to
See,
TA.
this is where organizations have a separate, dedicated data analytics team. Okay, it's not linked to a sales team or to a CFO or to a COO. Okay, it's a separate team because you require a different mindset to operate on that. It's not always that CFO being the finance person will be able to do so. No, it's a different science altogether to be there. Okay, next, we talked about background check verification, okay? And way back in 2015, the product what I jumped into was more to do with this. You exactly talked about using blockchain. How do we integrate the data across organization? For me, the thought was every organization already has the data. It has to come into some box in a confidential manner so that they just have to agree. Each of them can talk to each other, and it makes much easier. We don't have to go through this 30 days of background check verification, which used to happen. 2 years, I went around knocking doors of every corporate. I was thrown out. He said, "This data is mine." They were so possessive about the data, saying this data is mine. Including the resume which is there in their database, they used to claim that this data is mine. Not realizing that their data and somebody else's data is already there on Naukri, which we have already paid money and we are sourcing. But there's like, this is my data. Okay. So the question comes in, again, we will link everything to AI. How do you envision advanced technologies like AI and machine learning revolutionize the background verification progress? And is it something in the near future or would it take time? Debbie, this is for you. I know you're not got into this as of now.
No, I mean, I have been getting this question for a long time. In India, this is going to take a long time. Fairly because we are a chaotic society as such. Like you said, we have that false sense we own this data, right? I have this data, nobody has this data. Also, culturally, within corporates, how people function. You bring a new innovative technology, you bring 10 people to discuss that, you'll have 3 people who will say, why do we need this? Right? Maybe right, why do we need this? ROI and all things. But there are people who are on the job, they're surviving only because of these inefficiencies that exist in the system.
Exactly.
Right? They survive because of that.
Quasi-government way of operation.
So, right. So, and it's not like they are doing this on purpose. It's how they have been accustomed to do it. Now, like I said, I own this data is not to do with TA or HR. It's the culture of the organization, right? Do I participate in data and get it back? I think once the ecosystem evolves, if solution builders like us bring that confidence to TA heads or HR heads or business saying, you will win this much from this or you will start gaining this advantage, I'm sure they will see that. So far, the ecosystem has not evolved to give that confidence to business owners also.
And at least for the last decade, even at the TA head level, not many were ready to accept or to acknowledge saying that, look, there's something which can change.
Right. See, even if I go now and say, let's share your data with us, it is like wishful thinking. It's a good thing to do. Me as a company owner say, yes, you can take my data. Till the time I haven't seen how is it going to add benefit to me clearly, my interest level to drive that is going to be low.
So it's like an investment banker reaching out to a client and say, tell me what is your money, where is your money, I'll tell you how to invest.
Yes. Right.
I will not.
Correct. So
I want investment, but I won't tell you how much money I have.
Time I don't connect to the outcome right away, it's a good thing to do. Let me share my data, it is good for the society, right? That will not drive behaviors. Till the time I don't see value in it.
So my friend in green coat behind has been giving me time. I've got last 2 questions and after that we'll break for good lunch, not just quick lunch. Yes, sir.
Not
you want
like
to push whom?
Pushed like people who are working in our organization would like to become business owners.
Okay.
Not like employees, not like supervisors, what they are playing roles. That we need to do. Likewise, I think.
Okay. See, how much ever we push, the question always remains, how many can become Modi out of that? Right? The point is, if that's where we talk about, right? We know the triangle what HR always puts across. There is 2% of the people on the top and another 80% at the bottom, or the 70% in between. There would only be few of the HR who are there. So it's all got to do with the competency what people develop. You can't have 1,000 of the employees all becoming business owners also. Owning that part. Fantastic.
Either it can be small machine. They need to think as that machine help us. That being a workman or layman, they need to think that
I agree. Okay. So is there a question you wanted to put, or this was just a thought? Just a thought. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So last two questions. One is on diversity. So I'll call upon Mumtaz now, saying, okay, what is the way diversity could be increased in corporate? Uh, how could your education institute, what you're talking about, right? Maybe training people from the college, getting them out. How can this diversity be increased in the near future? We are probably still talking about 25%, 26% as a diversity. How soon can that be taken to a 40%? And what is required to be done? With AI, without AI?
Okay, couldn't understand properly.
So today the diversity part in in organization could be 25% female employees, another 70 or 30, 70 if you have to say. Huh?
Check.
How did you reach there? Okay. How can that average move to 40%? Like how the new bill has been proposed now?
Our college has 50% girls.
Okay. As an
So
employee?
education.
In the education?
Education.
Fantastic. Okay.
So girls, even
Okay.
employees, I think 60% employees are ladies.
Employable thereafter, out of those 50%, how many are getting in?
35%.
Okay.
Percent.
Okay. What
So
about the rest?
Because of so many circumstances.
Okay.
So after graduations, few girls want to get married, and few girls don't want the kind of jobs you guys are providing, and few.
Mumtaz, we need to have conversation.
Yes, we need to have conversation with everybody. Remote options they will tell, but absolutely sometimes night shifts, all those things. So colleges. Colleges.
They have to start from preparing tea and then lunch.
Companies like Aspire for Her, many companies have started giving opportunities for the ladies. So TA team, you should think about it.
Yes, Pratap, go ahead.
I think there is a general tendency or a mindset, diversity is only about women. No, it's not only about women.
Absolutely,
It's
agree.
about PWD,
Yes.
people with disability. There's a pride community, LGBTQ. There's a people with no economically poor background. Those all fall under diversity.
Satish, your 40% includes all of these, or you're only referring to female employees? Female employees. Okay, fine.
So, Chetan, just to add on that,
Yes, Lax.
what we do for diversity is one, we definitely have a target. We're right now training 25% odd from a diversity standpoint. I'm talking about gender diversity here. So the target is to increase it to 10%. By target is to make it 35% this year, especially at a leadership level. If we have representation of the leadership, we believe that obviously the mix of population on the teams also increase radically. But we didn't take the target of only at leadership. One of the objectives to increase the leadership is to increase the bottom level as well. So we take a target saying that every hire we make, 40% of them has to be gender or diverse women, so that as they grow up, right, we can actually have a sizable population at a leadership level as the bottom level team or the junior level takes up promotions and grow up. So that's one of the objectives that we taken very seriously.
Okay.
While the goal is to increase the diversity at leadership, but we're working at all levels to ensure that they grow organically to the leadership level, not just by hiring leaders there and placing them in the leadership roles.
Good. Okay, my last discussion point for the day. The challenges in attracting candidates to work from office or remote, and what should be the way forward?
It's going to be, like a work from home. The people
Work from home?
After the COVID, the DNA has been changed with the candidates market. Okay. So unfortunately, the customer also, again, previously we used to ask for the ODC and all this, right? The people has to come with, like a closed circuit. Even sometimes the mobile is not allowed and all those things. But now the customers, again, I'm talking about onshore, like or the US or a UK perspective, they also have seen the people are working from home without this kind of limitations. The deliverables is happening. So now, if you go back to the candidate and asking them to come to office, if I have 10 candidates, maybe 2 candidates or 3 candidates may show interest to come to office and work. And that too, unfortunately, that's like a mediocre kind of like the profile which we will sail through. But the candidate who has, as Debbie said, yes, the talent acquisition team said that this candidate will go through the 3 rounds of discussion and will be part of this organization, that candidate will not be interested or may not be interested right now to come to office and work.
What
So
was
they
the
prefer
audience
to
poll?
work from
Fareed,
home.
was there any audience poll on this question?
And also work from home, the time limit
No?
should be increased. So work from office, it should be 8 hours. But work from home, it goes 12 hours, 14 hours until the
Should
meeting
be
will
you're
be
saying
over.
or it is?
It will be there.
Because in between people will be taking breaks.
CK, one of the reason the increase of the diversity, which is the deliverables was pretty much awesome.
Okay.
So that is the thing, even though they have to take care of few things at home, but still they deliver. So that's the reason last 2 years the diversity hiring has been increased in our
See,
organization.
2020 it worked for a reason that people had all the reasons to stay at home, stay glued, stay covered due to COVID, didn't want to get exposed, didn't want to get into the mode of dying, okay, and they did everything to survive. And people did work 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, whatever hour that could be. But that becoming a norm now is still not worked good for the organizations.
I have a slightly different view on that. Will you want your employees to work without giving them a laptop? Just a question.
Everybody needs laptop.
Will you allow them to work without giving them enough training? No. So we want lesser constraints so that the person does best. But we want geographical constraints for that person to work, saying the person has to be inside office. So I think that mindset will change when, again, systems, tools are available to make that interaction easier.
Exactly.
Right now, it will be hybrid.
Today it's like...
But we are putting a geographical limitation on the talent. If I find someone really, really good sitting somewhere in Bhubaneswar, why should I be worried till the time the job is done? But that is not happening because the tools have not evolved to build that culture. See,
And it's not applicable for all roles.
It's not applicable for all roles.
And that's where the generalization has happened. From that perspective, I am saying no, it will not work.
So this one-size-fit-all approach, while hiring, while keeping people or role, has to change. It will never be one-size-fit-all approach going further.
Yeah. I feel like for this one, I have to. This is what I do. Chief Happiness Officer, right? Asking people to come back to the office is one thing. Making them want to come back is another. I think that's a wrong question itself, right? How do we make them want to come back? And I think the way we have done it, just from our small example, we started as a tiny co-living space in India. So we're one of the first co-living companies in India. It's called the Hub Bengaluru. You can find us on Instagram. I have gone and had the opportunity to speak on panels with the other panelists having 100,000 beds, 10,000 beds. We have 100 beds. Our community is bigger than anybody, probably even globally, right? So we spend all our time focusing on positive. How do we surprise people at work? How do we enable collaborations? How do we gift people? We have a culture of gifting. So in fact, now it's come down to the point where I tell someone, don't come into the office today, you don't need to. And I'll walk into the office and they'll be there. See, we were getting bored at home. So I think we need to focus on gamifying the experience in the office, which makes it a place people don't want to miss. So our team says they have FOMO if they don't come into office, because they're like, we missed on some gossip, or we missed working on a cool client or meeting them. I think we should focus there.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to cut short now, considering he has some announcement to make. And I will thank the rest of the team after this.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. Thank you, ma'am. And a special thanks to our moderator, Chetan Raj, sir. Can we have a huge round of applause to each and every one, guys? It was a very deep diving discussion on each and every topic. Thanks a lot. So, as Chetan Raj said, we have a very preeminent, very renowned personality over here. He is Mr. Asif Beg, Director of Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce. And also I know him from very long time, who has done thousands of shows globally. And I would like to welcome him to join us on the stage, please. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rashid. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Asif Beg. Introduced. Thank you. I think you have a big heart. You introduced me very well. But before that, great things in the world is never achieved by an individual. it's achieved by a group of people. That's how the companies are formed. And to keep that group of people together, the vital role is played by people who are there in this hall, the HRs. We would like to thank you all. Give a round of applause to all of you all. While I was sitting there, it just defined in my mind, I might be wrong in putting it across. We might have seen how the pomegranate is. The skin outside, yeah? The entire pomegranate is like a company. The skin outside is like the HRs who's holding and binding the company. Now, what happens to the pomegranate when the skin is peeled out? It starts decaying, and the arils, the red-colored seed what we eat, that is called as arils, and arils start falling out. So it's the same case. You people are like the shield, the covering for the pomegranate, where you keep the company and people intact, and you keep it going for the longer time. Once more, congratulations, and thank you so much. Congratulations not just for being a part of this summit, congratulations for keeping the company binded and keeping things going. Thank you. I think people are doing a great service, not for your own self, to your company, to the country, to the humanity, to the entire world. So let's put our hands together once more. Give a round of applause. I'm so sorry, in between lunch, I'm here in between. Like Rashid said, I've been a part of thousands of corporate encounters and all, about 2 decades of experience. I was a part of IPL World Cup, addressing the gatherings. I decided to be a part of Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce when they approached me to be a director. The reason I became a part of it is because KTCC, that is Karnataka Trade Chamber of Commerce, has been doing some brilliant works. Like this, we have the HR Summit. We are coming up with Karnataka Business Summit in Saudi Arabia, Khobar, which is organized by Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce, for which I'm the director. And the reason we are doing this is, and probably, like I told, great things can never be achieved by an individual. It's only with the people coming together. So the reason we're doing this is, we had Karnataka Business Award also in the past, and many seminars and conferences like this. In Saudi Arabia, there are a lot of people from Karnataka who's given for the revenue and the growth of Saudi Arabia. I personally interacted with them. So I thought it's a beautiful platform to interconnect the business here in Saudi Arabia. So it's an interlink in between Karnataka. It has to be country to country, whereas we are linking Karnataka to a country. That's a big achievement, I believe, which we people are taking forward. So we already in conversation with a lot of ministers here and a lot of ministers in Saudi Arabia, and successfully, grace of Almighty, like this success, a bigger successful event will be organized in Saudi Arabia in support of KTCC, Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce. We together are coming up with the Karnataka Business Summit shortly, and we'll all witness, and we look forward for all the support from all you people, like you've extended the support to be a part of this. What you people are doing is a great service. And what our president, who's the president of KTCC, he's the president of Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce. Why he thought of this initiative is, when there is so much of potential in Karnataka, why saturate it here? There are a lot of business people we come across who has a lot of potential, but no wings to fly. So that's what I think the president, Mr. Abdul Musaddiq, came up with the initiative to start off with Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce. When he explained this to me, I come across a lot of corporates. I thought it's a great initiative to be a part of it as a director. I'm thankful that he took me as a director. And here in this platform, amidst great personalities, the panelists, and great personalities, you people as well, we thought it's ideal to officially announce amidst you, by the grace of Almighty and the support of all of you, we'll be coming up with Karnataka Business Summit in association with Karnataka Trade Chamber of Commerce and Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce in Saudi Arabia and Khobar. So ladies and gentlemen, while I do this, I'm so sorry I'm in between the lunch. Am I having the freedom of speaking for a minute more? Thank you. Such wonderful people you are. I'd like to call on stage our other director of Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce. Please put your hands together for Mr. Kashif. Thank you so much for joining us, Kashif. I'm not going to take much time questioning, since we have the panelists and the chairs as well. And with your permission, can I also request the president to kindly join us on stage, Asian Arab Trade Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Abdul Musaddiq. Give a round of applause to him, ladies and gentlemen. A person with a mad thought who's just turning the tables upside down, grace of Almighty, which I'm literally witnessing. And I see a couple of more mad people, and that's how I'm in his standing in his support. Some mad people like Elon Musk is also mad. Yeah, Jeff Bezos also was mad when he started doing things for at least about 18 years. Yeah, nobody could see what really he had. A lot of mad people have achieved a lot of big things in life. I thought he's also one mad person. Whether he achieves or not, but it's ideal to be a part of it. And every other day I see him coming up with some great initiatives. In the initiative, what I see here is thought, contemplated, executed, successfully achieved within the span of 3 months, which is not possible from my end, or I believe nobody, most of us can't do that. This person has reached that, and I believe he really can do some great things with support of all of us. Yeah. So great job, Mr. Musaddiq. You should keep doing the great work and make Karnataka grow, make Karnataka the power of the country, power of the world and all. And we're with you. Thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause to both of them. Thank you, Kashif. And yeah, I'd like to thank you. What an orator you are. What a moderator you are. And I like this innovative thing, what you did, Chetan. I heard you were supposed to go for the race. You cancelled your ticket to be a part of this event. Thank you. And thanks to all the panelists. I think it was very informative, though I was here for a little while, but great information shared by you. And the best part about the audience was most of the times we see that either you're on your phones, you're walking out here, there and all, but I believe the topics were so interesting that everyone was glued to the stage as well. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Look forward to have an enhanced relationship with all of you. Coming together is beginning, being together is progress, and working together is success. We'll work together for the success of individually we, work together for the success of our families, work together for the success of our state, our nation, the world, the humanity, to please the Creator. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Mr. Asif Beg, and all the best for all your future ventures.
Thank you very much, and all the very best to each one of you. Okay, thank you very much for being a good audience, great audience. Thanks for participating and giving your part of answers too. Thank you everybody on the dais here. Thanks for your contribution, your inputs. Let's have a great lunch with the people. Let's interact. How was the session? Good? Thank you.
Awesome.